Okay, everybody, welcome to the Rhizocast. We're looking at Hulk 2099, number 1. This came out in 1994. 1994, I am pretty much exclusively reading Vertigo, probably only like Shade the Changing Man, maybe Outlaw Nation if it was coming out at that time. Very, very few books that I was reading in that era. I mean, I've seen these over the years. I wasn't really aware of them as they came out. But what's interesting to me with this one is this would almost fit in the Vertigo line. It is not great as a issue number 1 in that it's in the middle of things. Hulk 2099 had already appeared in another book, and they're assuming you read it. I have never read it anyway, but I mean, I kind of like that about it, that you just jump into the middle of things and get going. Advertisement for Earth 2. I remember that this sci-fi show existed. I think I saw half of an episode. Anyway, jumps right in. This version of the Hulk looks crazy. Looks more mutated than our regular Hulk, and he's beating up robots or whatever. And then it goes back to how did we get to that splash page? Oh wait, skip the page. Didn't go back to there yet, but it will. And he's like complaining about how Los Angeles is destroying the earth and around it, and it's impossible to escape Los Angeles, but he's going to escape, and he's going to set things right for what he's done wrong in his life. And then we go back. This is in Hollywood, and they're making a movie about the Knights of Banner, which was, I assume, a cult related to the Hulk Bruce Banner, but because I didn't read the previous appearances, I don't even actually know. And so they're working on this film, and in the middle of it, the production is cut off for some reason. And then we got this girl here, who I assume was a regular in whatever previous appearances, but I have no idea who she is. She's some kind of pop star that's in trouble for writing anti-corporate songs. So it feels like a Philip K. Dick reference to me. That it is very, like, they've already made a couple references to virtual reality and stuff. So very, very Philip K. Dick cyberpunk influence on this book. The other 2099 book, I think I read one of the Ghost Riders and it was good. I read one of the Ravage issues because I'm a Stan Lee fan, and he allegedly wrote those, but that was not good. But like, there's this claustrophobic nature. They have all the panels are really like, the design, and a ton of words. The words aren't even important in a way. It's just like this feeling of claustrophobia of the future that they're issuing with the words, which to me works well. And so this guy was going to help the girl that's wanted for writing anti-corporate songs, but they're taking him out. And it's like, here she is. She says, "I'm through running away with you, running away from you." And she goes, "Well, okay, maybe I'm not." So, and she's been looking for the guy who is now the Incredible Hulk. And then we flash to here, and the guy who is presumably the current Hulk his name's John. He's getting interrogated because the Hollywood company that he works for, their investors, want to know what went wrong with the documentary and stuff that he was working on the cult of Banner. And when he anyway, it's just like some little flashback thing, and he's pretending that he's just a schlocky hunk and not a hero, but it looks here like, I'm guessing he was a hero trying to save this kid. And they're concerned that the reason he's wanted to quit working with them is because of him having a conscience. And he says, "This is Hollywood. I traded my conscience in for a parking spot. Now, where's my money?" Because he wants to get out of his contract and finish things over. And then, boom, we have a big bad appearing named Draco. Centerfold, holiday ads. So this one is American Entertainment. So they were a competitor with Mile High Comics, I would say. It's interesting, in this one, they aren't advertising any single issues. Everything is like trade paperbacks and stuff like that. It's fine. And t-shirts, what have you, the trading cards that were popular at the time. Back into the action. And so this guy has purchased this film company, or whatever you call these companies, and it's a hostile takeover, which means they're using like military force and everything. And this was the guy that becomes the Hulk, his former assistant, and she walks in, she's like, "Oh, you're taking over? I'd be happy to be your new assistant." And that earlier she said she wouldn't do anything to undermine the Hulk dude, so it's kind of funny. And then this is the little kid that he saved earlier. And he's telling him, "Get down." And he's like, "What?" He caused the death of everyone I ever knew. But he's still alive, and he's in danger. So he tries to save him. It causes an explosion, and he died. The kid dies. Bullpen bulletins, signed by Stan Lee, but who knows who's really writing it or whatever. That he's saying you should go watch the Marvel Action Hour cartoon. So these are the 3 number ones they're promoting this week: Bishop, Nightmare, the Hulk. I would probably check that out, because seems like it could be interesting. And I think this is not Mile High Comics. This is another one. This is 1 Million Comics. I don't even know this one. And boy, this is not possible for an adult to read without a magnifying glass. Okay, so the new Hulk canner is saying he was the last of the Banner Knights, the last pure thing I knew, out like a candle, leaving me in darkness, unredeemed, damned. And then he's yelling out Draco's name, and he's transforming into the Hulk, presumably Anger Traeger. And then he goes in fighting. he's like, it stops here, Draco. And he says, so the previous management did have an ace up its sleeve. And he says, I don't work for any management, and I don't give a shock. They do a lot with fake swearing in these 2099 books, but it's fine. But I owe the world something now. I'll spend the rest of my life here paying it off. And I start my payments with you. And then there he is fighting Draco. Action-packed, fast-paced. I'm interested in reading the second issue. But at the same time, not a good first issue in that, like, I don't really know what's going on. But then it is a good first issue because I don't know what's going on, and I still like it. Showing off their letter page, which has one letter that it's about the previous appearance of a 2099 of Hulk 2099, that they're going to be launching this. Here we are, or you could go ahead and put your subscription straight to Marvel. Usually they had it that you needed to cut a hole in your comic to order, but here we are this time, and they actually have something that you can tear out to order. So I feel like that's a good move. At this time, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 X-Men oriented books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Spider-Man oriented books. And then just like so many, they're putting so many books out. This is Image going, DC's going with Vertigo as well. I mean, they're trying to crowd other publishers off the shelves, and in my opinion, there just wasn't enough talent to pull off this many books. So, whatever. And it is interesting, they do have a Disney Kids line at this point. Well, they have 2 Barbie books, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, and a Disney Afternoon book. The short-term book, short-term gaming system, Sega CD. And then, what's interesting is when the Zit ad, they started having a lot of Zit ads in the comic books, which I think is kind of an admission that comics aren't for little kids anymore, but they're still for teenagers or something. Anyway, also worth noting, they have the foil on this, which costs a lot of money to me. And it's $2.50. I don't know if that's because of the foil cover or if the next issue will also be that same price point. But that feels like a lot during that era. I mean, that's 30 years ago. Comics now are $4 to $5, so I guess everything's doubled in price in that time, so maybe that is true. But anyway, $20.99 books, you can find them cheap a lot. I think I'll start checking some of them out. I imagine, like most things, probably the first 5 or 6 issues are solid, and then it starts to meander and get boring. But I think I have the second issue somewhere, so I may bring that back on the channel if it's all right. And thanks for checking us out. Talk to you later. Bye.